Welcome to Dungeon Not Included. We're playing Tears of a Machine with Russell and his successful Kickstarter for Tears of a Machine. So if you wanted to get it, it's now too late.
Essentially. Yeah.
And it will never be sold ever again.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
wait a minute.
In electronic media, it certainly will be available. I don't know about physical because, I mean, there are no game stores left where I am.
Right.
A lot of the places that used to do, I mean, I haven't been to a convention in a year, and a lot of the shops I used to see at conventions are now kind of doing other stuff. So who knows? I don't know. We'll see how long physical. I might not bother printing up extras. It might end up being a print-on-demand thing. I don't know. But the digital stuff's already coming, so that's good.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be more updates about that soon, I'm sure. But yeah, we're already getting the production gears turning. I'm getting my contracts out to folks, and as soon as Kickstarter gives me the money, I'll be writing a whole stack of checks, and we will be underway.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's
Can't
very
wait to get
exciting.
my reward, which I paid for. So
yes, there you go. Yeah. All right. Do we want to get into it?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think we left off. We had started a gigantic mecha battle on top of two floating sky fortresses.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting place to have
And the Magnus had just shown up, right?
Yes, that's right. So what we have is our two arcs, aerial fortresses floating over the city of Philadelphia. There's the Arcs Ocker, which has just launched, fresh coat of paint and all that kind of thing. And the rest of you, of course, are at your home arcs Jericho, little dustier, a little more beaten up. But after this big, ceremony, as the Ocker lifted off majestically into the sky and everybody, applauded, then, you went back to change out of your fancy dress uniforms, and then suddenly an attack. The Venator had sent a swarm of fleeing locust units called wasps to go dive bomb all through the city and start attacking the two different arcs while they were parked there over it. And that forced you to sort of climb up instead of the usual thing where you get fired out of the cannon to go, fly hundreds of miles away to save the world. Instead, you had to sort of climb up the gigantic machinery elevators in order to get up to the top surface, the top deck of the arcs. So first one to get up there was Tigana, who already beat back a small cluster of wasps. And our other two pilots, let's see. Yeah, Mischief and Shrike have just emerged as well. So the two of you are now available to do things. But at that same moment, a comet came bursting down out of the sky and crashed into the surface of the Arcs Ocker. The smoke began to clear before you realized Astaroth, a Magnus mecha, has now joined the battle from the back of the Arcs Ocker. Astaroth is an older unit. It's been in a few battles already, so it's already pretty nastily scarred up and mutated by its past injuries. I mean, when a Magnus is smashed, it puts itself back together, but not always in the right order. So that Astaroth has actually had its torso bisected at some point, so that now it has two torsos side by side, each with their own screaming heads and multiple arms sprouting from those shoulders. Its abdomen has actually kind of bloated to balance out all of that strange weight and keep it from being top heavy. But that means that it now has 6 legs, propping itself up like some sort of double vision centaur. And its wings kind of trail behind it. These huge overlarge wings kind of trail behind it like capes. There's gouts of black smoke bubbling out of all the little cracks in its armor, and its multiple heads swivel around, letting out these horrible screams and lighting up with laser fire behind their eyes. Yeah, and I think since we've already had Tagana take some action, I think it's up to Shrike and Mischief to decide what to do next. Now, you are on the back of the Ark's Jericho, where there are still several targets being threatened by the wasps, specifically the infantry on the top deck. The poor soldiers who were sort of stuck up there are in danger of being dive bombed. But then, on the back of the Ark's Ocker, not too far away, only separated by, let's say a couple of football fields of empty air. On the back of the Ark's Ocker is Astaroth. So, who's got an idea about what to do?
Well, go
how
ahead.
far away is the Ocker from Jericho?
Well, I would say
300 yards.
Yeah, I would say easily within range of anybody who wants to, say, fly to there. If someone's interested in trying to jump to there, that might mean that we might need to find out if that works as part of the dice roll. Who knows?
What about a skating jump?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Nice.
High-speed jump. Would a high-speed jump carry you over there?
Yeah.
I think if the dice are in your favor, then yes, a high-speed jump would carry you from one arcs over to the other.
That is a good answer. That is a good GM answer.
Yeah,
Remember,
I want to.
we go by anime physics. How far away are you from someone else? Well, if you would arrive there in time to dramatically save them, you are close enough.
Yeah. Basically, so there are wasps on the Jericho, but there's like a Magnus or whatever it's called on the Ocker. So I think Salem's gonna skate towards the edge and do a flying leap to try and basically get over there. And
All right.
so compared to a Saint, how big is the Jericho or any of these floating fortresses?
Well, I mean, an Arx is, I like to say it's about as long as an aircraft carrier and twice as wide. So it's a big thing. Like, a fully crewed, there's room for a couple thousand people, aboard this ship. I mean, it also has the advantage of being, about 6 decks deep. So it's a big, big vehicle. A Saint, by comparison to that, I mean, I'd say you're 40, 50 meters tall. I'd say you're probably about half as high as it goes, and there's probably room for you for 10 of you to lie end to end along the top deck of it. So, there's room for you to be up there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how hard would it be to push this thing off the edge is basically where I'm at.
So you're hoping to leap across, tackle Astaroth, and try and smash the edge. Now, Astaroth, being the Magnus that he is bigger than you. And remember, anytime you're acting against a Magnus, you're in trouble. You're at a disadvantage because of the mass and the multiple heads and the superpowered weapons that this thing has. But that doesn't mean you can't try.
Yeah, I mean, I want to try is where I'm at.
Okay. All right. So, I think we need to work out what traits you are going to use as you fire up your skates, boost to the edge of the Jericho, leap to land on the Ocker, and then tackle Astaroth. What traits are going to help you do that?
I think holistic counts because my goal is to basically reduce the damage if possible. right? Like getting the Magnus off of the arcs is gonna save a lot of like lives and things. So I think holistic counts.
Sure.
I'm trying to disrupt the Magnus, so I think disturbing would definitely be one of them.
Okay. You've
And
got.
could we say I'm shooting myself?
I'll allow it. Sure. And you've got one more for being Shrike right now for being in your Magnus, in your Saint. Is anybody going to offer Shrike an assist on this? It's not necessary. I just figure I'd throw it out there.
I think I'm more interested in stopping the, protecting the infantry here.
Infantry on your side?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, then. Well, then, Shrike, why don't you roll your fate dice, your 4 fate dice, and let's see what we have. Oh, that's not a bad roll. There we go.
No, plus a minus and 2 blanks.
Yeah. Now, remember, since you are in trouble, I get to pick first. So that means that I'm going to, of course, choose that your gold die is, oh, wait.
What horrible calculus are you making right now?
Oh, no. Oh. No, it's going to have to be the minus. It's going to have to be the minus because you have too many other good dice. So I have to take the minus for your goal.
Okay.
So that would mean that you would not be able to actually affect the Magnus at all. And it would, take out the anti-aircraft weapons as you are leaping across to try to get there to stop it. Unless, yep.
I am going to spend an ego point to boost that up to a 0.
Okay. You could also spend a point of gear to boost that up to a plus, or you could just hang on to that and see what happens with your cost die.
I'll burn out my skates.
All right. I kind of figured this is a good time as well to do that, to use up all the juice that's in them as you throw yourself through the air, which is an interesting sight, I'll tell you. Saints, there are flight unit wings that can be attached to Saints, but they're not really very aerodynamic, on their own. It is kind of the, watching a skate, a roller skater basically make that jump. So you have to sort of tuck in kind of like you're skiing, but not quite, as you throw yourself off the edge and sail through the air. This is a plus result, though, so you will rescue the anti-aircraft, meaning, you get what you want. You charge, fly across the space, skid across the top deck of the Ocker. As you sort of pass through the air, leading from one to the other, there's a sort of electromagnetic barrier around each of the arcs, which is weird because it kind of gives you the sense of sort of like you're breaking the surface of water, except it's kind of like a warm crackling feeling instead of the splash of the surface tension of water breaking as you pass from one arcs to the other. You crash down and smash up against Astaroth. Which seems really surprised by your sudden appearance and ends up wheeling around, trying to hit you with its weapons, but not, fast enough for you to crush against its side and slide it skidding toward the edge of the arcs. Let's see. So that does give you that goal achieved. So I'm going to move that into the achieved goals pile. But we still have a cost to decide. Now I'm left with plus blank and blank to choose from. I'm going to choose a blank result. And you can't buy that up with anything.
Do you get to choose even though I made
that's
that
right.
a
No, you got a
positive?
plus. That's right. Yeah. I forgot. You turned it up to a plus, so you have the choice. So you get to choose your cost to die. What's it going to be?
I will take that positive.
Oh, okay. So no ill effects for you, which is possibly for the best. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Everything goes off without a hitch. You slam into Astaroth. It slides and begins to tumble off the edge of the Ark's Ocker toward the construction bays on the ground below. And yeah, that will reduce our beat count as well. So yeah, flying tackle. Congratulations on the success of that.
Yeah.
Mischief. You had said
All
that
right.
there were those poor infantrymen on the top deck of the Ark's Jericho trying to duck these flying swarming wasp robots. What?
Yeah. So I'm going to interpose myself with
Mhm.
my shield in
Mhm.
between me and them,
Mhm.
and attempt to block the wasps from the infantry as they attempt to, as I encourage them to clear the deck.
Mhm. Yeah. A lot of them are kind of hiding among the machinery here. I mean, you're kind of at the engineering banks at the back of the arcs. You aren't standing in the middle of like that little park and academy area. Thankfully, that's under its own set of dangerous conditions. But yeah, so they're kind of hiding among the machinery there. The wasp locusts are still pretty sizable. You know, they're not really like insect size to you. I mean, you know, you're being a saint, you are, you know, like I said, 40, 50 meters tall, but these insects are still big enough that they could be like, you know, the size of, say, a chihuahua to you or something like that. They're not insect size as far as you're concerned. And as much as they look like wasps, each one of them has kind of like garishly has a mask, like a blank human mask in place of its face. So rather than having a bug's head, they all have these kind of human heads with the same blank, empty expression on their face as they go zipping back and forth. All right. Which traits will you be using in order to interpose yourself and create?
So I'm putting myself into harm's way. So I'm going to say brash.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I'm also protecting.
Yes.
And I think my hope will actually, for acceptance, will actually fall into play here, because I'm attempting to protect the people that I have to deal with every day.
Okay, good. I like that. And then Saint as well. So it looks like you've got 4 dice as well.
Yeah,
So
let's see what I get.
Yeah, let's roll them.
Eight.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, 2 pluses, a 0, and a minus.
All right.
You get to pick
Now
first, though,
you are
right?
in control. Yeah, you're in control because you aren't fighting a Magnus, so you're not in trouble.
Oh, I'm not fighting the Magnus, so.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what's your goal result?
I'm going to take that plus.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it things go as you said they would. You clear away you clear the way for those infantrymen to escape. They start scrambling back, you know, toward ports and escape hatches that'll lead back into the superstructure of the arcs as you stand there to face off against the wasps. Let's see, what else do you do? Anything else to, because this is a you know a clear success here, a clear win.
Right. So I'm going to actually use my my spike arc generator to fire some ball lightning at the wasps and clear them from the sky.
All right. Excellent. Now you'll also get to choose your cost die since you used a plus for your goal.
I'm going to go with a plus on that also.
Okay, so no ill effects. Excellent.
Yeah,
you guys are rolling really well now. You know, things are going fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll keep going that way forever.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Excellent. All right. I think we have time for Tigana to do something. But first, so Shrike, you did smash up against Astaroth in order to basically knock it off the arcs into the ground below. However, those wings that I said, are on Astaroth's back, I had said they're kind of like broken and drooping like capes and so on. Well, just because the wings of a Magnus don't necessarily work doesn't mean they don't fly. There's that same kind of anti-gravity energy that holds the arcs up in the sky. Well, that's based on some of the technology taken from the the Magnus that crashed years ago. And that means that as as you watch, Astaroth tumbles off the deck of the Ark's Ocker, and then with sort of a flash and a flare, it begins to pull itself up into the air, so that now it's floating beside the Ark's Ocker. Those broken, useless wings, kind of like slowly swaying back and forth, more like fabric underwater than they are like wings flapping, as the anti-gravity energy generators in it buoy it up into the air. So it's still coming.
Mhm.
All right. Tagana, I believe you have an opportunity now to act. There are still several, things you can do to try and protect the Jericho. Let's see, there's a construction crane, fuel dump, emergency worker shelter, arms stockpile, all these things that are still targeted. But I think I need to add something to, because that Magnus is still there, I need to add another target on the Ocker that's in danger. So I'm going to grab something. But yeah, there's still a lot of construction equipment and some more troops and stuff about.
Tagana came in this kind of hot and heavy after the emotional turmoil of having to face his feelings.
Right.
But seeing Fatima take one for the team, well, not really take one for the team, but just go do her job, right? Protect people first, just sort of Noah's whole thing. I'm going to snap out of it, and I'm going to go try to give some cover fire. I'm going to try to get the emergency worker shelter in a safer place. So I am going to go for all the locusts and what have you that are attacking the worker shelter.
Okay. Yeah. The worker shelter is this is on the we're still on the arcs, we're not on the ground below. So this is still a sort of an engineer's hutch, so to speak, or hut, so to speak, on the surface of the arcs. It's basically a smaller building on the exterior of the ship, and it's out there for maintenance work and so on. But the problem is that it's kind of exposed now due to this attack. So yes, there are people holed up in there trying to escape to hatches that'll let them inside the superstructure and away from this fight. All right. So what? How are you going to go about rescuing these folks?
I'm going to draw the attention of the locusts, and attempt to give the workers a chance to escape.
All right. What traits will you be using?
Refugee, because I know what it's like to be sort of helpless, empathizing, and deceiving. I'm going to try to again, draw the fire or the attention of the locusts.
You can sort of do that by kind of making yourself look vulnerable in a way, like just rushing out there without your weapons up.
Right. Look at me, I'm by myself. What can I do? And of course, Tagana. So that would be 4. And I just have to remember to F for fate die.
Yes. Oh, man.
Ooh, I could not have rolled worse, folks. Minus.
All right.
Well, that's as bad as you get.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
So
About time some bad luck happened.
So obviously, your rushing out there isn't really going to do much good, as one of those WASP units actually lands on top of the shelter building, and the roof of it begins to give way. You can buy up that minus with ego, or by using, basically using up a piece of gear. But I'm not sure with that.
I think I want to do that. Hold on. Drama. All right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it up with angst, right?
Ego. You spend a point of
And
ego.
so ego goes down. Got it. So I'm going to spend a point of ego to get it down to 0, and then I'm going to burn out. You know what? I kind of want those other 2 around. You know what? No, I'm going to get rid of the Shadow Gate.
All right.
Okay, I was using Shadow Gate to attempt to get myself in position in time. Yeah, I went in too hard at the beginning. If I'd taken the position I should have taken at the start of this, a defensive position, getting people to safety, I wouldn't have been stretched thin right now. And then hence the loss of ego and the burning out of equipment. I pushed myself too far, and I'm regretting it. But I got it down to a plus, so it's successful.
All right. Yeah. Totally successful. Yeah, you zap yourself into position to smash that wasp away before it's able to finish crushing the building, so the workers can scramble and run for shelter. So yeah, you are just suddenly not where you were, and suddenly where you need to be to throw your weight against the wasp and knock it away. The building ceases collapsing, all the with all the metal bent and starting to break. But in that clear moment, another emergency hatch flips open on the exterior of the arcs, and a couple of soldiers pop their heads out and start shouting for the technicians and workers to follow them down into safety.
And I think, as Brennan was about to say, I get to pick which negative I want.
That's right.
So I'll pick the minus die.
Yes, that's right. You can't change it. So it's got to be that minus. All right. So here, this hasn't happened for us yet, has it? Okay. So if you take a look at your character sheet, you'll see, your saint has a thing that says damaged, and it's a checkbox. So go ahead and check that box. Now, when your saint is damaged, a few things happen. One of them is you can't use your saint as a trait until it's repaired. Also, you can use your equipment, but you can't spend equipment as long as it's damaged. The other thing that happens is right now, I'm going to make a modification to the list of targets that are in danger of being destroyed. And hey, look at that. One of them is now Tagana.
Nice.
So Tagana, you are now under fire and in danger of being destroyed.
Sweet. My id also outweighs my ego.
Yes. So here are a few. So here are some fun facts about that. So right now, let's see. You are in danger of being destroyed unless you or someone else can rescue you. Basically, you push that wasp away while you're getting everyone clear. You are now surrounded by wasps, which begin blasting you with their laser weapons, and you are in danger of being overwhelmed. Your armor is melting away all around you. One wasp leaps down and smashes you on the shoulder. Another one hops onto your back. You scramble to knock it away, but you're basically surrounded by all of them. Your armor is broken down. You've just burned out your another one of your weapons. So yeah, you are on the ropes right now. Your id being higher than your ego means you are also on the verge of a frenzy. There is a little voice in the back of your head. It's not your voice. It's a voice that belongs specifically to Tagana, or more specifically, what Tagana was. It's an angry voice. It's a voice that says that this foolishness of putting yourself in harm's way, of rescuing these people, has led you to put yourself in a horrible situation. And the answer, the way out of it, is to lash out. Just destroy everything. That's the way to victory.
Yeah.
Now.
That was a fun roll.
Yeah.
So, one other thing about being damaged. How do you get undamaged? Well, you can get undamaged by just willing your saint to self-repair. You'll be undamaged. That's fine. but your id is going to have to go up. And if your id goes up, you will frenzy.
All right, we'll see. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Oh man.
All right. And you put yourself in kind of like you've got all the bad decisions around you right now. Somebody's
enjoy
got to
this.
defend you, or you've got to defend yourself, or you're going to be destroyed. Your id is higher than your ego, so the next time that id would go up, instead of it going up, you will frenzy. There is a way to remove points of id, but I'm going to wait until someone tries to rescue you before we decide if that or you try to rescue yourself or something. I think we've actually, So Shrike and Mischief, Shrike, I'm afraid you are already leapt across to the Ark's Ocker, so you're not able to do much to help unless you're going to like turn around and start shooting back, maybe. But it looks like it might fall to Mischief if you want to try to help Tagana, unless you think Tagana can help himself.
I do want to help Tagana.
All right, then. How will you do that?
So, as the wasps and things all converge, they have like guns on them and stuff too. I assume these little wasp creatures.
Oh yeah, they have their abdomen, instead of a stinger, they actually have kind of like a weird laser weapon, sort of poking out of the out of the structure. Mm-hmm.
They're swarming around Tagana and blasting Tagana from all directions, and I'm going to leap in. Grab up Tagana, and while I'm twirling around, I'm taking my wings and I'm wrapping them around Tagana to block the wasps from shooting Tagana.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So what traits are you using there?
Brash again. Protecting.
Yes. Protecting, definitely.
Obviously using the Saint. And I think that's everything.
Okay.
I can think of.
Sure. All right. Well, let's roll those 3 and let's see what we get.
Can I assist with that?
Yes, you can. You can assist. You can offer a single assist die.
What happens if it rolls poorly? That just falls onto me, right?
Yeah, it falls onto you. The good news is once you're damaged, you can't get double damaged, but a blank result there would give you a point of id, and that would be a frenzy.
Ooh.
Is it worth it?
I'm trying to think about whether or not it's like what would I actually be doing at this point? Would I be hoping you save me, or would I be trying to help and not actually just gaming it and seeing what the dice would tell me? I think I would be trying to help. I trying to get myself out of this.
Yeah, I don't imagine you're. I mean, I don't imagine that you would be working against that. So yeah, let's see what we get. All right, so that's 3 dice for Mischief and 1 die for Tagana. What do we end up with here?
Oh my god!
No! Oh no!
3 negatives from Brennan. Rolled 3 negatives. I even forgot to put the roll in front of mine.
You forgot to put the slash roll.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this might help. I mean, the good news is if yours isn't a negative, then at least something better is going to come from it.
Oh no!
Another negative.
Oh, no.
Wow. Right.
That's awesome. Nothing but
4 negatives in a row, twice. Yeah, nice.
Oh wow.
8 negatives in a row. Are we sure roll 20 is functioning properly?
Someone check Twitter. It's roll 20. Fate dice.
Roll 20 broke it tonight. I don't know. Okay.
Nice. Well, I will choose a negative.
Yeah, you'll take the negative. Well, the good news is you can take the negative off Tagana and just replace one of your own negatives. So you don't have to leave Tagana with that effect.
Right. I will take Tagana's negative, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if you had rolled a bunch of pluses or something, you might want to take it, but yeah, you don't need to roll that. Okay. So you'll take that negative. So yeah, you have to choose a negative result. I guess you're going to buy it up, because if your goal on this is a negative, that means you don't rescue Tagana. Tagana is destroyed.
No, I'm going to buy it up.
Okay.
To a plus, actually.
To a plus. So you'll use ego and
my wings are
Wings.
destroyed.
Right. Yes, because your wings are getting hammered from all directions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I do like the vision of Tagana going, I can help. And then Mischief is just like, no, you stop helping. So,
Stay there.
I don't-
There.
Run. Yeah.
All right. So you bought that up to a plus. Good.
Yeah.
Now,
Now I
you
will
do
choose a
realize,
negative for my consequence.
right? So you know what that means, right? All that stuff that I just finished explaining to Frank about what happened to Tagana is now your problem too.
Shrike, save us.
So I'm damaged.
Yes, you are damaged, and you have used up your wings. So yeah, you wrap the wings around Tagana and yourself, and now all of that fire and all those leaping attacks from the wasps coming in from all directions, they're no longer ripping up Tagana. Instead, they've torn your wings off. They've burned and melted those away, and your armor's starting to break and crack, and they, and so now the two of you are kind of huddled under this attack. The good news is, Tagana, you have escaped the immediate danger. You're still damaged, but you are shielded from the wasps by Mischief. So basically, you're safe hiding below Mischief's wings as Mischief is being smashed. Now you are the one being smashed to pieces.
That's awesome.
So, again, damaged. Again, what's your? Let's see. You're in better shape with id though, aren't you? Or are you also?
Nope, I'm at 0-0 with id.
0 and 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, next time your id would increase, you will instead go into a frenzy. Fortunately, it will be a very short-lived frenzy.
Okay.
You got that on
good.
your side, at least if you go into frenzy. But all right, so Tagana is safe. However, now
I'm in danger.
You are in danger. So let me add you onto there. So Mischief is now a target on the board. All right.
People stuck in quicksand pulling each other up.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah. Just surrounded by, just instead of quicksand, giant robot bugs with human faces and lasers in their tails.
Yeah.
All right. Good news is the fight is progressing along. It might be over soon, maybe.
Yeah, we only have 4 beats left.
Only
Shrike,
4 beats
what you
left.
got?
Yeah, Shrike, you now one of the things to note, just sort of quickly throw in there, Mischief is in danger of being smashed if she can't rescue herself. Also, because the Magnus is a Magnus, it is always able to put a target under threat. So while Astaroth is hovering there's a strike VTOL that's full of troops and missiles and so on that was flying around trying to help in the fight. It is now in the sights of Astaroth and will be smashed if that isn't rescued. So you've got a choice of who can you move to rescue now, and who's going to be left to fend for themselves.
So if I don't defend Mischief, is Mischief going to be destroyed?
No, Mischief has the opportunity to rescue herself.
And Tagana is there by me too.
Tagana could also do it. Yeah. So you could run to now. Remember, they are both damaged, so they are already going to be. They're going to have some disadvantage to doing that. But they could do it. That would mean, as I said, you'd have to let Astaroth blow up that VTOL because that's it's right in front of it. But it would mean you would be able to try and find some way to help Mischief out of this situation. So
I think I gotta take care of the more immediate thing in danger.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mischief, but
I think that's the holistic approach.
That's
it
the way
is
to
the
go.
holistic. It is the holistic approach.
The good of the many.
Yeah. So I'm gonna defend the VTOL.
All right. How are you going to protect that VTOL from Astaroth, who, as I said, is now floating in the air next to it, charging up its lasers behind its eyes and getting ready to just melt everything around it?
I am going to target the lasers on Astaroth to prevent it from shooting anything. Basically, I'm going to destroy the lasers before they can fire.
Okay. What traits will you use to do that? We've already mentioned holistic being part of your actions.
Yep, shooting definitely makes sense.
Your bow and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think disturbing because I am disrupting this thing.
Sure. And you've got the other one for being a saint that is not damaged. So you've got
The
your
only
four.
one left.
Yep, the one left. So you've got your four dice there. Now, remember though, you are still in trouble because it's one thing to try and shoot out of the lasers at once. It's another thing to actually do it when Astaroth has multiple heads, each with its own laser bank in them. So let's see if you can pick off all the heads in quick succession or not. Oh, okay. There's some good news there. Yeah.
2 blanks and 2 minuses.
Yeah.
That's not as bad as we were rolling.
Yeah. Of course, I still choose first. So.
Right.
So I am going to have to say that you're not quick enough on the draw, but I'm going to choose a minus for you. You can try and buy it up with some ego or by using up some equipment or what's it going to be?
I'm going to use up my Artemis bow and spend a point of ego. This means that I am equal to my int now.
Okay, equal. All right.
Yeah.
You're not in as close a danger of frenzy as the other two.
Right.
All right.
So that makes it a positive.
Good. It will be a plus. So yes, as you said, you shoot first and you shoot faster. Just
so
shot at...
I think so. How I imagine the Artemis bow is it's like the grip, and then it fires like energy, and you charge it up by pulling it back. But I think if you do it too quickly, you basically burn out the engine. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting all of these heads and all of these lasers, but I'm doing it so quickly that the engine doesn't have enough time to cool down.
Kind of melts in your hand almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or internally, maybe the whole thing doesn't turn into slag in your hand, but stuff inside it begins to break and smoke begins rising out of the cooling vents on the side of the handle, and you fire faster than Astaroth, however, and I mean each those shots coming in rapid succession strike its faces and heads. Wherever you're able to land an arrow in one of its eyes, that head sort of flails back, screaming and hollering, and the bolts blast through it. That means you do succeed in rescuing the VTOL. Astaroth is not completely done yet, though. As each of those heads is smashed, the sort of thick, black, syrupy goo comes flowing out of the wound and begins to shape itself into another head. So it begins to regrow the heads that you smashed off it almost immediately. And those come back, come back as sort of like weird little polyps that then kind of grow face-like shapes with even angrier expressions than the ones that you smashed with the arrows. Because you brought that up to a plus, you get to choose your cost die. You have remaining 2 blanks and a minus.
I gotta go with a blank.
Okay. That is a point of id. So you are now out of balance. You have 1 id higher than your ego, right?
Correct.
Okay. You are not in a state of frenzy yet. If it goes up 1 more point, you will be. But you are in that same state of being unbalanced. And there's that urge. And it really is a voice. It really is like a separate entity somewhere here in your mind or in your body or something, just like trying to call out, just smash everything, destroy everything. Nothing should make you afraid. Nothing should make you feel weak. You are an engine of destruction, and the power that you deserve is being held back. Why is that happening? Well, we'll see. We'll see how long we can hold on there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've spent a lot of equipment and a lot of ego points. So
Yes.
I hope the dice start being good, because we're almost at that point now where it's like we've almost only got luck left on our side.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think Shrike's the only one who can spend equipment at this point.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, because I'm not damaged.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, Mischief, you are surrounded. You're getting smashed up. It's you and it's you and Tagana there on the deck. Who's got an idea of what to do? Are you gonna like try and work together? If you are, who's gonna lead that action? Do you want to act? Do you know who's gonna try and save Mischief?
Do you want to return the favor to Ghana, or do you want me to do it myself?
I'm going to try to return the favor. Right. I am going to.
Now, do you want me to tell you? Do you want to tell me how to get You want me to tell you how to get undamaged in this situation? Just to let you know.
Do I have to concentrate on or Tagana has to concentrate on healing?
Yeah, in order to get undamaged, it actually happens pretty quick. I mean, I told you how as quickly as as Shrike was able to smash the heads off Astaroth, he was already growing them back. That's the same stuff that lets your saint repair itself. It can grow back in that same way, and you can be undamaged. As I said, the problem is your id will go up, and that means that you will engage in you will enter a frenzy, unless there is a way to avoid the frenzy. See, saints don't feel pain. They don't feel fear, really. That stuff belongs to humans. If you sort of reverse the polarity, so to speak, and let some of those saintly sensations into your human brain and vice versa, you can do what's known as shocking the saint. You can give the saint a little taste of human frailty. Doing that will actually block the id from increasing, but you, Noah, will have to gain a trouble for doing that.
Oh, okay.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. So concentrate on repairing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That melted armor starts to, the armor itself starts to slough off because the armor isn't part of your real body is the punished and damaged and smashed up mecha beneath that. But that begins to, the cracks and breaks begin to fill in with this, thick silver goo. You feel the battered and broken limbs straighten themselves somewhat, and you find yourself able to struggle up onto your feet again, so that you've regained your balance and your control over things. Your vision gets clearer, and that anger surges inside you. Like, now this is real power. Now let's show all of these pathetic things around you what real strength is all about. And that's when you switch on the tears, so to speak. So tell me, what floods into Noah's mind that's going to make Tagana stop and also cause Noah some trouble?
Right. I blame myself fairly or unfairly for the situation. I feel like if I had been more focused going in on the job, then which I like the fact that that's not actually how the dice rolled out. It's just I'm blaming myself. But if I had been more focused on the job, I probably would have been able to save everyone without ever stretching myself thin. So that's why Mischief got into trouble, and it's all because of that horrible feeling I couldn't address that came up when Jamie came up, and I had to give my eulogy that I wasn't able to do. So my trouble is that I am replacing love with violence. If anybody talks to me about Jamie or my feelings or anything else, I am going to beat the living hell out of them, regardless of appropriate. Like, it's just, that's how I'm going to manifest these soft feelings that made me weak.
I like
what
that
I'm
trouble. Yeah.
what I'm doing is I'm going to Mischief is under attack from the locusts.
The cluster of wasps that basically
wasps.
all of the wasp units from the deck have all kind of gathered around here, kind of like
good.
Piranha swarming around a wounded animal, like just like each like trying to take their piece.
So I'm going to set the brain gun on radius effect, and I'm going to have the locusts chew off each other's wings and fall to their deaths.
Oh, okay. Let's see how that works out then. All right. So you have repaired yourself. You have repaired yourself. Your saint has had this weird inversion of emotion where now it's kind of like shocked and ashamed, which is a feeling that a saint does not experience. So things are a little wobbly already. And now you're going to sort of turn all that outward as an emotional burst with the brain gun.
Yes.
All right. So what traits will help you carry off that projection of idea into the minds of all of the wasp units?
Fearlessness. I am not going to skirt off the battle. I'm going to stay in there and fight. Deceiving. I'm going to confuse and befuddle the locusts into doing harm to themselves. And brain gun. Can you use that as a?
No, the brain gun itself isn't a trait. It's
it would be spent theoretically. Got it.
Yeah. It's spent to alter dice, not to add dice.
And justice. Mischief saved me. I'm saving her. There's going to be balance here.
Okay, I like that. So that gives you your 4 fate dice.
Yeah.
Roll better than you did last time.
Yeah.
Mischief is sunk. Oh, okay.
That is better than last time.
Yep,
all right.
You got a spread there.
2 blanks, a plus and a minus. Nice.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I get to choose first. I am going to I'm gonna choose that plus. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to choose a plus. I want this. I want to save Mischief.
All right. So, so you fire the brain gun with all of those weird, confused, distorted emotions into a range all around you. Mischief, you feel this strange emotional surge as well before your saint brain chemistry locks it down and says whatever that is, that's someone else's thing, that's not my problem. But the wasps all around you sort of lose the focus of their attack. They stop charging and they start sort of floating around as if they're lost and confused, like they've all just like suddenly like lost the thread of what they were doing. They just start sort of ambling in different directions, crashing against each other. Some of them just start flailing around, like drop down onto the deck and start flipping over again and again, like trying to like they're trying to shake off something physically that's been put on them. And a couple of them have, again, lost sight of their own target and begin attacking each other trying to figure out like what's happened here. Everything's been turned inside out in their, in their perception of what's going on, and several of them just seem to forget how to fly and drop out of the sky and crash off the side of the arcs and hit the ground below. Yeah, but that sort of radiating wave of confusion spreads out from around Tigana to start to sort of envelop the rest of the space and the rest of the wasps, which also start to just sort of flail, uncertain of what they are experiencing. So that will rescue Mischief from destruction. Now, what is your cost going to be? You've got a blank, another blank, and a minus.
Yeah. What is it going to be?
Well, the minus would damage you again. No, wait. Yes, the minus, because this is your cost. The minus would damage you again. One of those wasps would charge you instead. The blank would cause your id to go up again, which at this point is pretty certain for a frenzy, unless you want to take another trouble to try and absorb that one. But you could potentially buy it up by sort of melting the brain gun in.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to spend the brain gun. Actually, we need a lot here.
Well, the good news
No, we
is
don't.
that the beat count is almost at 0. Actually, after this resolves.
Oh, really?
After this
Okay.
resolves, things are going to wind up for this battle scene.
Okay, yeah. So I'll burn up the brain gun on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I successfully added the trouble. Do I get anything for a plus on a success? I forgot if that's what gets you.
That's what lets you. It lets you choose the cost die.
Okay.
That's why I'm
I'm
not picking it. That's why you're
Yeah.
picking it, because you use the plus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yes. For some reason,
So
I confused actions, and yeah, I burned up the brain gun.
All right.
So I'll buy it up.
So yeah, there's a sparking and a fizzling as the signal from it dies out, but that seems to have been enough to kind of broken the will of the swarm, so to speak. The wasps, continue to just fly around in lazy circles or crash into each other or scramble this way and that, and they just start retreating. They start sort of floating up into the sky and just sort of zipping away with these blue flashes. It's kind of like a sort of a lightning strike in reverse as they like zip up away from you and from the rest of the battlefield. Astaroth is not similarly moved, but at that time, Shrike, you are suddenly flanked on either side by the appearance of the rest of Able Company. Rampart and Torchbearer have emerged from their maintenance elevators aboard the Ocker and have fallen in beside you. Rampart puts up a huge shield and begins firing, machine gun bullets from this, huge, rotating barreled weapon. And Torchbearer brings up some kind of flame projector, and the two of them begin, blazing away at Astaroth as well, which is still sort of recoiling from all of the arrows you put into it. And then sort of seeing that the battle is broken, that all of the wasps are leaving, and that now it's a 3-1 affair right in its face. Astaroth lets out another horrible yell, and with that same kind of energy of like a reverse bolt of lightning, flies up into the sky, just kind of leaving behind just like it's like chunks of its skin, like broken feathers from its wings, and one of those like smashed half-made heads, which just sort of fall out of the sky and break on the way down until they're just kind of raining down like shards of like shards of plastic and glass, dropping into the streets below. And that ends the battle.
Nice.
Great.
There's going to be a lot of work going into repairing the armor on all of you and fixing
yeah.
those broken weapons.
I got shredded.
Yep.
Mm.
I didn't get shredded, but I broke almost all of my equipment.
So this is where we have to stagger our return to base so that it's just increasingly worse conditions.
The command is very eager to power you down, though. All of that, all of that anger, all of that negative energy, they feel it as well through their communications channels because they're going through a saint brain in order to contact you. So there are a lot of like very worried voices quickly saying, "All right, quickly, reduce to low power consumption. Quick, get to the elevators. We got to get you down and out of your mechs ASAP." In fact, they tell you, Shrike, to stay aboard the Ocker and go to the Ocker's mech bays to be to be removed from the pilot pod. And that gets the three of you back to your back to your human bodies and out of your saints.
The entire time during that entire process, I'm cursing out everyone. If we weren't wasting time on a stupid ceremony, if we weren't doing all this worthless amount of work, if we had just been doing the jobs and just cursing everybody else for not doing what I think that they should be doing now that I'm a little whiny prick.
Yikes, Noah.
Yeah, totally.
There are a lot of technicians who refuse to meet your gaze as all that goes on. So Salem, as you step out of the pod, dripping with goo from the suspension gel, and head towards the locker room, you realize none of your clothes are here. Fortunately, one of the technicians runs up with just kind of like a generic pilot's jumpsuit for you to get into after you clean off the goop. But Heike and Samantha are both standing there, at the locker room, already toweling off the the suspension gel, and they both watch you walk up, and then they both step in to fist bumps, and Samantha just immediately says, "You jumped? That was crazy awesome." And which Heike is just like nodding her head and nodding her head in like agreement and alternatively shaking it in disbelief, like she doesn't know what to do. Exactly.
Faye is not used to a lot of positive attention. So Faye doesn't exactly know what to do. Like there's a really long pause before Faye says anything. And then Faye says, people would have gotten hurt.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying it. What you did was not only good and right, it was also freaking awesome. I don't know.
So, no, go ahead.
No, maybe we need to talk about having you transfer over to the Ocker. I mean, I don't know.
I like it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good stopping point for the night.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So yes, you are all returned to your normal stuff. We haven't really finished the end of the episode. We still have like closing beats for closing scenes, but we can do that when we come back for our next game session, because we are at time.
Back scheduled on Monday. That was really cool. We all had a moment where we could be ourselves in all the terrible ways we are. Yeah, so good.
I was really impressed at how bad those dice were and what they let us do. So
yeah.
Right.
Oh, those were some terrible rolls.
I was ready for somebody to frenzy. Like we were all
we were real close.
Right on that tipping point.
I honestly, like from a storytelling perspective, I think it even was better because we were right on the point, but we didn't quite get there. That means we have room
Yep.
to go.
Right.
Room.
I like that a lot.
Somewhere to fall.
Yeah,
That's right.
Once again, to find out more about the game, still being put together and in development, but almost ready to go, right?
Parts
Go
of
to
it?
robotclaw.info.
Yep.
And to subscribe to this podcast. Didn't you already? How are you listening to this right now? Did a friend send it to you?
It might be at a friend's house. See, that's the thing. It
Oh,
might be
all
at
right.
a friend's house. You got to tell
you're
them like where to go when they go home. They got to remember to log in.
Yeah, that's right. Go on to www.https:// no, go to non-productive.com if somebody is playing this really loud on a subway near you. And you're like, you know what? That's not bad. Obnoxious, but not bad. That's basically our tagline.
You can also find it on any podcatcher, I think is what they're called.
Yeah. You just find us. We're around. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.